Alright, welcome back everybody. This is the Schultz Strong channel.
Another episode. Schultz Strong.
I don't even know what number.
I don't know what episode it is.
I don't know. We're not gonna
We're
keep
gonna
track.
edit this shit later, so
It's fine. But anyways, so today we're gonna be talking about why should you eat fat and protein in the morning, how much, all the cool shit about it that Sam knows that I'm learning about as well. I love learning. I hope you do too. But really cool stuff today. I know very few things about this, but I've been maintaining a high-fat protein breakfast for a long time out of response to him and the bulletproof stuff. So love that. But we're gonna start off with a couple of things. So first off, just to make it as a little baseline, how much fat and protein should you have for breakfast?
it depends on several things: goals, protein demand, size, weight, sex. All that stuff comes into play. But I'm gonna give you some ballpark. So, in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Body, he quotes a study where they gave the participants of the study 40 grams of protein, and they compared that with people that had less, people that had more, and on average, that seemed to be the sweet spot for blood sugar regulation and satiation. Satiation and blood sugar regulation come hand in hand. If your blood sugar levels are doing this, meaning spiking and crashing, you're going to feel more hungry throughout the day. If your blood sugar levels are more stable, you're going to feel less hungry throughout the day, meaning you're going to be more satiated. Okay?
Probably more tired as well, I'm guessing. As like at least feeling those dips in energy levels, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not just more tired, but more moody. And if your idea is to be a positive, productive person, you're going to want to set up your day correctly so that you have mental energy to work. And so I'm going to give you just an example of this, and that is in the morning, after 8 hours of fasting, hopefully you didn't eat a high carb meal just before laying down to go to sleep. Your insulin levels are going to be relatively low, and your glucagon levels are going to be high. And insulin and glucagon kind of work on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other goes down. When one goes down, the other goes up. And so in the morning, glucagon, which is a hormone that takes your stored carbohydrates in the form of glycogen, muscle and liver glycogen, and then converts those carbohydrates as needed into blood sugar. Okay, so here's the deal. As long as you have high levels of glucagon, it will take the stored muscle glycogen and use that as a slow burn sugar, meaning when glucagon levels are high, you're not going to get an extreme spike in blood sugar. It's just not possible. So you're going to have a more balanced access to blood sugar throughout the day. The other thing that glucagon does is it promotes what's called the fatty acid cycle. So the fatty acid cycle is where your body uses ketone bodies as brain fuel. And there's all this talk about ketosis, and the truth is, based on the timing on how you eat, you're always sliding back and forth a little bit between ketosis and burning sugar, or using glucose as a fuel source. The other thing that's critical in the morning is to make sure that you get enough choline.
Okay, so wait, before we go into the choline thing, so you mean even if you're on a keto diet, the huge fat right on the keto diet, you're saying that you will still slide back and forth with your insulin levels, your glucagon levels, your response to that. So you mean like that's...
Well, in the keto diet, insulin is really generally low. Glucagon is more high, but once you kind of burn through the glycogen stores, there's not even a need for high levels of glucagon because you're not needing to mobilize anything. That response even gets tamped down because you're burning ketone bodies. And then to go to choline, okay, so what is choline? Choline is a B vitamin. It's a raw material to make the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. What is acetylcholine?
Something to use for your brain?
Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. It exists in your brain. It exists in your motor neurons, and it conducts the action potential from your brain, say, to your muscles.
So it helps your muscles react faster, is what you're saying. From brain muscle connection. So acetylcholine helps with brain muscle connection. Got it. Okay.
It passes the signal.
Passes the signal. All right. Faster signal passing.
So one of the best sources of choline is eggs. And choline is a wonderful nutrient that's available in egg yolks, which is why you eat egg yolks and not just egg whites.
Stupid.
For people that just do egg whites, you are limiting yourself. You're limiting your brain potential. You need choline. It's essential. Also, the most nutritious part of an egg is the yolk. So always eat your egg yolks. Okay, and then fat and protein. So what else could we use if, like, say, we're vegan, vegetarian?
Omnivore or a flexitarian.
Exactly.
All right, so what else can we use? For fat or protein? For fat, I would say my favorite as a vegan or vegetarian would probably be an avocado because that's super high in fat. Fiber helps with lowering those blood sugar levels. As well for protein, I'm gonna say for vegetarian and vegan, probably gonna say beans or like a combo of something. You're gonna have to help me out with this one.
So if you want a good like vegan keto breakfast, you can stick with nut butters. And a lot of vegan athletes, especially high endurance athletes, will take just straight nut butters first thing in the morning. And depending on your particular sensitivity, figure out which nut butter may be best for you. If you're following what's called a slow carb diet, again, beans are one of those crossover areas because they have protein, not a lot of fat, and very minor amount, but they're really high in what's called oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides are dense carbohydrate molecules that break down in the body slowly. They're also what make you fart. Because your gut flora starts to break it down, and then you get gas, but you also get vitamin production there. So you can use beans as a protein and carbohydrate source and get a similar response. So then you still need to add some fat to, say, your beans. If you wanted to add tofu, if you wanted to add any other like vegetarian form of protein, you could use a soy protein isolate. You could use a pea powder. If, say, you're using pea powder protein, which not too big a fan of personally, but for those people out there that like it and they have your favorite brand, great. You still need your fat. So where are you going to get your fat? You can get it from your nut butters if you're vegan.
Is there a difference between seeds and nuts for either one of these things we're talking about, both for carbs, fats, protein, and just the delivery of them? Or is it pretty much the same, the seeds and nuts? Is it just kind of like one's bigger than the other looking kind of thing?
Yeah, well, technically, a nut is a seed. So if you think about like a nut from a tree, if it comes from a tree, if you plant that in the ground, it will yield into a tree. Seed is the same way, inside of a seed. And now we're seed as opposed to grains, right? The seed will sprout and create a plant. Therefore, that seed's going to have fat and protein in it. And so you can use it. I'm going to give you a couple good vegan options now, vegetarian options. Hemp seeds and shelled hemp seeds are
delicious.
Wonderful.
Delicious.
You could combine them with chia seeds. You could use hemp butter. You're going to get your fat, your protein, complete amino acids. Really good, simple breakfast. You could do hemp seeds in a shake with some type of acid, vinegar, lemon juice, whatever. Blend it up with some chia seeds. Boom, good. There's your vegan breakfast. Now, if you're an omnivore and you want to have some type of meat in there, keep it light. One of the best omnivore breakfasts that I like is canned sardines, a couple hard-boiled eggs or some scrambled eggs. If I do want to add carbs, I'll add lentils. If I'm going carb-free for whatever reason, the sardines and the eggs are great just by themselves. If you're a vegetarian who eats eggs and milk, you can combine eggs and cottage cheese. You're getting your fat and your protein, very bioavailable, very slow burning. And then the other thing to talk about is why not to eat carbs first thing in the morning. Okay, so neurotransmitters, a lot of neurotransmitters are made in the gut, and the second that you start eating carbohydrates, you're supplying your gut flora with a fuel source that's readily consumed, and rather than neurotransmitter production going on, it actually stops because sugar then can lead to a serotonin increase that parallels the blood sugar response, right? So if you're having a blood sugar surge, you get this rush of happiness as the blood sugar levels go up, the insulin levels go up, serotonin levels go up in response, which is why you crave sugar when you're stressed out. Serotonin levels go up to cortisol levels go down, which is why you're stressed, you crave carbs. But in the morning, if you eat sugar, you now limit your neurotransmitter production that can happen in the gut. And you want to keep that production going as long as possible. We'll do a whole nother video on gut health, neurotransmitter production, neurotransmitter migration basically via the vagus nerve from the gut to the brain. We'll cover why that is essential and what amino acids that you can take to help boost that cycle, which is called the glutamic acid cycle. We'll cover that in a future video. But just in general, start your day with fat and protein.
But generally about 40 grams of protein. Well, I don't think you left off though. What was the amount of fat you think is roughly as good? Maybe half that, 20?
I would say 10 to 20 grams, it'd be plenty. Also, if you're trying to lose weight, you're still going to want to count calories, right? So 10 grams of fat, so 10 times 9 is 90. So 20 grams, we're looking at 180 plus 40 grams of protein. That's 160, so we're looking at 340 for breakfast. That's 40 grams of protein and 20 grams of fat, 340 calories.
That's still pretty low, honestly.
That's still pretty low, but that 340 calories will sustain you
all the way to lunch.
All the way to lunch, or if you
snack.
want to skip lunch, it will sustain you to dinner.
So you can do a little intermittent fast.
Exactly. Now, for example, if you instead, and I'm working with a client now that I'm trying to retrain, he has bagel for breakfast, right? Bagel and cream cheese. So he's having around 450 calories with his bagel and cream cheese. He's getting his 20 grams of fat through the cream cheese. He's getting about 50 grams of carbohydrates through the bagel. And then he's only getting a few grams of protein. And I forget, depending on the brand of cream cheese, 5, maybe 10 grams of protein. So what does that mean? It means that in about 2 hours,
He's going to be hungry again.
He's going to get really, really hungry.
Yeah. So he's not satiated. His brain's not functioning super well. His gut health isn't very good. What else?
He's going to be more agitated throughout the day.
Energy spikes.
He's going to have an energy spike and then an energy crash. And he will be chasing the dragon all day long. Meaning, once his blood sugar levels crash, he's going to want to consume carbohydrates to bring those blood sugar levels back up. And he's now on this roller coaster of blood sugar throughout his whole day. And if you're trying to lose weight, this style of eating makes it impossible to lose weight. The other thing, and I can't tell you this enough, is sugary cereals, sugary drinks like your Starbucks Frappuccino, or should I say, get Fattuccino, is just going to make you fat and unhealthy. It's going to increase type 2 diabetes. It's going to increase your obesity. So avoid sugar first thing in the morning, unless, of course, you're trying to gain weight.
Oh, then yeah, you got a dirty bulk going on.
Yeah, which we'll talk about
another time
in another video. Should you bulk and gain weight?
It depends if you're trying to hibernate for winter.
ABR, always be ripped, baby. Always be ripped.
Look good, feel good. It's pretty easy when you follow Schultz Strong method.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're wrapping this up. So again, do not forget to like, subscribe,
Mash that button.
play with it, enjoy it,
Rub it, tickle it.
have fun with it. Share with your friends. Really hope the support and the learning that you get from this is as much as we get from you. So again, leave some comments below. I hope you keep enjoying these videos. If there's anything you think you want to know, again, ask.
And if you have any ideas or suggestions, if watching this video made you happy, made you sad, made you mad, made you curious.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Curious, not constipated, curious.
Sometimes.
And you want to know more about these things, and you want us to do a video of some sort, please let us know. We'll do our best to get one out for you. Also, kind of my general or our general format is to do a general topic that we can drill down into. So we're not going to be overly verbose when it comes to specific research unless you request it.
Then we shall.
And we'll look that shit up.
We will. We'll find out.
Because we want to be accurate.
We want to. It's important.
And clean.
No BS.
The truth matters.
It does. Find it out.
The truth matters.
No fake news here until until we find out otherwise.
And if we're wrong, we'll tell you we're wrong.
Exactly. We're not afraid of that. Being wrong is okay because it needs to be learned.
Exactly. We are right most of the time. But just most of the time.
99% Schultz wrong.
Exactly. All day long.
All right. Over and out, everybody.